Good morning, everyone. My name's Ara, and this is Rosara's Investments. So today, the Dow is up 250 points as I make this video, and I am going for a ride to do some errands, and I am just wondering to myself, why are people ignoring Aapl? Aapl has projected that they are going to sell $85 billion worth of stuff this Christmas quarter. And I feel like it has gone almost unnoticed, especially for Apple suppliers, which is what I heavily invest in. So this reminds me of a situation I was in back in 2011 when I was 31 years old. So I actually made a huge investment. I bought options in Apple, but I didn't just buy Apple options. I bought $168,000 worth of Apple options, which at the time was my complete net worth. I was worth about $168,200 maybe. And I was absolutely convinced that not only was Apple going to go up, but that it was way undervalued. So at that time, Apple had announced the iPad 2, but they did not release the numbers yet for how many iPad 2s they had sold. I think I bought my options back in around October or November of 2011, and I wanted to hold them at least until Apple reported their numbers in January. So the reason why I did it was because I thought that everyone in the world just didn't notice how great Apple was. And this was before the share split. Apple was about $395. And I completely did not understand why Apple was being so overlooked. The PE ratio at the time was 11 point something. And Apple had loads of money in the bank. Not like they do now, but for a 2011 company. They had just absolutely massive amounts of cash in the bank. Their PE ratio was 11, and they were announcing one of the best products ever in the iPad 2. People love the iPad 1, but it didn't sell incredible numbers, and I knew the iPad 2 was going to sell incredible numbers. Not to mention, the new iPhone that was coming out that year, but iPad was really the headline story. So anyway, I wanted to buy Apple stock, and through options, I ended up buying close to $1 million worth of Apple stock. It was actually $1.2 million worth of Apple stock. So I was taking a huge risk. But fortunately for me, that risk did pay off. I did make money on that. I made about $60,000 in that trade. And I ended up selling my options for about $220,000. And that was one good decision I made. I'm hesitant to say good decision because I don't know if it was a good decision to put my entire net worth into one stock, or more accurately, one option in one stock. But I am driven to become a millionaire, and I feel like being diversified is not the way to become a millionaire quickly or semi-quickly. The way to become a millionaire is to do what you believe in. It doesn't necessarily mean take more risk, but if you firmly believe in something, then that's what you should do. So if I had not bought the options, if I had not invested in Apple, not only would I not have made the $60,000 profit, but I would have regretted it so much not investing. So I wasn't even happy about making the $60,000 profit. I actually regretted not buying riskier options because I was so sure that Apple was just going to knock the ball out of the park, just absolutely crush it. So how that relates to today is that I am heavily invested in one of Apple's suppliers, Cirrus Logic. If you have seen my other videos, I have mentioned this a few times, and I just made a big purchase of around $27,000 worth of Cirrus Logic stock, and that's on top of already owning 11 options in Cirrus Logic. So I will admit I could be wrong. I could lose lots of money. But the thing is, right now Cirrus Logic trades at a PE ratio of about 12. and this is a company that has paid off all their debt in recent quarters, and they have, last I checked, they had $175 million cash. For a $3 billion market cap company, that is a lot of money. Cirrus Logic is having no problems. Everything is going good. They do have some risks and concerns. The biggest risk being that Aapl is a major supplier of theirs, and Apple's a big major customer of theirs, and Cirrus Logic has about 80% of their revenues coming from Aapl. And on top of that, Cirrus Logic could have pricing issues. Like, let's say Cirrus Logic sells things to Aapl for $5. Aapl could come and say that, we don't want to pay you $5 anymore. We only want to pay you $4.50 per chip. So there are some serious risks to investing in Cirrus, C-R-U-S. But I think the fact that Cirrus is trading at only a PE ratio of 12, their stock is only $51. It's a very low price stock. On top of that, their balance sheet is phenomenal. They're doing wonderful. They're growing revenues and earnings year over year. Not last quarter, but just in general, they're growing revenues and earnings. And on top of that, they have the biggest catalyst coming up in the iPhone X. All the reports say that the iPhone X is having supply issues, that Apple isn't able to sell enough of them because they can't make enough of them. They can't bring enough of them to the stores. And I think that is a very good problem to have, that Apple will absolutely work out. It's Apple. It's almost $1 trillion company. They are going to fix whatever supply issues they have, guaranteed. It's Apple. It's just guaranteed that they're going to. So because they're going to sell a lot of iPhone X's, and because they're going to sell a lot of iPhone 8s and a lot of iPhones and just a lot of stuff in general, their suppliers in general are just going to do very well. Apple can't sell $85 billion worth of stuff and their suppliers do poorly. Their suppliers are going to do terrific. So this reminds me a lot of that time that I made the $168,000 trade, because there was a point when I was down about $70,000 or $80,000. And I'll be honest, I was very nervous. I was very nervous. And that's how I feel right now. I'm very nervous. I feel like I own too much Cirrus. I own too many options. I own too much stock. But I'm thinking of that in kind of a good way. It seems like every day everyone is selling Cirrus stock, and I'm there to pick up more shares. I feel like I'm the only one in the world that's doing this. And I think these are the times to get in. And it's hard. It's gut-wrenching seeing so much stock and so much options go down. But I am remembering from experience that some of the best times to buy are when everyone else is selling. And everyone else seems to be selling Cirrus stock. So I could be wrong, but I think I am right when I'm assuming that everyone wants an iPhone X. And when I say everyone, I mean lots of people, not literally everyone. But I think I am right. Apple is going to sell a lot of phones. And I think I am right when I'm assuming that Apple and Cirrus Logic will continue to have a great relationship in the future. And absolutely over the next few months, because I don't think Apple is going to make any big changes in the next 3 months, since they have so much to deal with getting so many iPhones out to the public. So these are my thoughts. I think it is a terrific time to buy Cirrus Logic, and even though I am down over $5,000 probably on all my investments, I will be buying more. I have orders in to buy more Cirrus Logic at $50.35, which was the low from a couple months ago. And I am very excited to hear when Apple reports earnings on January 29th. I may sell my options on January 28th if there's a run-up in the stock. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a great day. Good luck investing.